I'm an actor, a model, voiceover artist, and brand ambassador, and I'm here to be able to have the pleasure of being interviewed by Keith Andrews on his talk show. Thank you so much for having me on, Keith.
For people who want to know what is the Keith Andrews Network, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be. So prove to them you can stem out to something. With that being said, I want to clarify one thing. You do not have to have a disability or learning disability to be on my show. If you're in the entertainment world and you want to come on and support my message, what I've been doing for 8 years, everyone's more than welcome. But you don't have to have a disability to be on my show. But with that being said, I'm showing what I'm capable of at a disability. But not about me, this is about you. So a little bit about our today's guest. You are a professional actor, voiceover actor, and also a brand ambassador. So the first question I want to ask you is right off the bat, disabilities. Besides me, obviously, have you worked with people with disabilities? And for people who want to follow in your footsteps, so our first question would be, as a professional actor, who inspired you, and how can someone with disabilities follow in your footsteps?
Well, first of all, I want to say I used to actually do work with people who had disabilities as well. I used to work over in Mundelein, Illinois, where called Lake County Center for Independent Living. I used to work with and for people with disabilities of all different kinds. I too also suffer from issues like depression and OCD, and I never really talk about that. I would always say, don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't try and do something. If you want to try, give it a try with the acting. I also do modeling as well, quite a lot. The voiceovers every now and then, and the brand ambassading. But I've had people come to me and ask me, how can I go do it? It's like it is kind of a tricky business to get into. But I will say, if you do want to try and do it, go ahead and try it. If it turns out you really don't like it, it's okay as well. But at least you gave it a try. And you have to have an absolute dedication, love for it, and there's a lot of sacrifice that goes within it as well. Some of the people who influenced me as a young kid. See, I didn't grow up watching the modern day movies. I always watched the old black and white movies, especially movies from the 60s or even the 70s. I watched Cagney or even Burt Lancaster, even Gene Hackman, all those other movies. It's movies I've watched so many times that even drove my mom nuts. Like, don't you want to watch something else? Like, oh, no, I want to watch this for the 1,000th time.
No, you're right. Gene Hackman, one of the greatest actors. I know he did it for spooks. Like, when you think of Lex Luthor, there's two people that come to mind. Having a brain fart. Michael Rosenbaum, number one for Smallville, fantastic as Lex. But people say, yeah, but he is kind of Lex. He is Lex, but he isn't. You know who I think about when I think about Lex Luthor? I don't know why anyone wants to think about Lex Luthor. I think that person has too much free time on their hands. But if you think about it, not in LA, it's Gene Hackman, and he did that role perfectly. And if people are like, well, if he did it seriously, I mean, okay, Superman movie was great. So regardless if it was serious or not, it would still be a classic, number one. But just because he did it for laughs, that what makes the movie most memorable. Is that those certain moments, like for an example, he says to Otis, do you want to see a very long arm?
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen Superman yet. I believe it or not, I haven't seen it.
No, go ahead.
I have like a different, unusual taste, and was never big on the superhero movies. Actually, that being said, I did see the Joker movie, and I will admit that was fantastic.
I saw bits and pieces. To be honest, I didn't care for it. When I think of the Joker, I like Heath Ledger, and I like Mark Hamill.
Okay. Yeah, the cartoon. I used to watch that cartoon all the time too as a kid in the 90s. Whenever I got a chance, it was on. I watched that.
No, absolutely. The other one that you may know, I'm having a brain fart on his name. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks made some excellent classic ones. I know you mentioned you watched some videos from the past. Hands down, Mel Brooks.
Oh, I love Mel Brooks. I love History of the World Part 1. That was like Spaceballs. I haven't seen Young Frankenstein yet, though. That's the thing. And I wasn't big on Blazing Saddles, which everybody gives me a problem with for some reason. It's just everybody has their thing. I wasn't huge on Western. That's probably why. There's like a small handful of Western movies I would really care for. Like I like Nevada Smith and like Young Guns and things like that.
I'll name a couple good ones for you. Tombstone and
Haven't seen it yet.
And gangs in New York.
Oh, that's a good one. I saw most of that one. That was pretty good.
No, I didn't know they were buried across from the World Trade Tower, so I found that really interesting.
Oh yeah, that's great.
As you said, you mentioned the westerns about cowboys. Back then, they this whole media gave me this mindset of cowboys and Indians. If you're a cowboy, you're a good guy. Native American, you're a bad guy. But then you realize the truth, it was the opposite.
Right.
So now, kind of knowing the truth, it kind of kills it. But it's whatever you want to believe, right?
I always played the cowboy as a kid. But see, as a kid, other than doing acting and modeling, ever since I was 3, I always wanted to be a police officer. So I would always play the sheriff.
Yeah. So the next question I want to ask you is, how long have you been a professional actor, and what are some of the actors that you want to work with? There's Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Pratt. Any of them that you want to jump off the chair and say, I will work with them no matter what?
Oh, well, I would say I've been doing this since January 2019. I don't know if you really want to count 2020 because of all the things that went on, but I did what I could. Oh, I would say, I don't know, not just necessarily just the actors, but also sometimes the writers too, as well, or certain directors. Like I would love to work on a Stephen King film. That'd be great. Other actors too, I believe Gene Hackman has retired. It'd be great to work with him on something as well, or to even work with Dan Aykroyd. I know I've heard nothing but really nice things about him. Sometimes it's also some actors you really want to work with, and sometimes you find it's kind of not really what you want. I'm not going to name any names because that's the place to do it. But sometimes it's also just a personality kind of thing as well that you want to just work with because it's like, oh, they're so sweet and everything. Like I know at Robert Englund from the Freddy Krueger movies, and heard nothing but really nice things about him. That'd be kind of great to work with him as well. A lot of the actors actually would like to work with have long passed away, like Dennis Hopper, and Kat and Humphrey Bogart. Like, well, good luck with them, and it can happen.
I understand. Then the next one I want to ask you is, who got you into doing voiceovers?
I've only done like a few voiceovers, though. I like to do my own voices, my own impressions. I used to love watching Rich Little. I watch him every now and then on some of the DVDs. I hate as an impressionist. I like to do my own kind of impressions, and I usually use them to bug the hell out of some of my friends, especially like my friend Mary. Sometimes she needs help doing something. I have to help her, and I kind of do like the John Wayne horse's ass kind of thing, where he's like, it takes a big man to do a big job that a little lady just couldn't seem to handle on her own. She keeps getting mad at me. And I'm not doing it here because it's too much of an echo. I don't really have too much of the equipment to do it. So I have to use it on my phone. I can't afford the equipment to do actual high commercialized voiceovers. And mostly it's a very competitive thing to get into is voiceover. I had no idea until I tried to do it. But I've only done like a few with them. And for like some independent things for, I forget her name, Zoe. Her name is Zoe, a friend of mine. She's over in somewhere in Europe, and just done some things for her that she's done on YouTube. Little independent films she's done. It actually was really fun to do, and I hope she had me work for her again.
No, absolutely. And some of the independent stuff is actually really good. There's something going around about let's see, Power Rangers Unworthy.
Oh,
It's actually really good. And you know, with Power Rangers, yes, you can have it cater to kids, but then you can also kind of push the envelope. Say, okay, we're gonna now do the teenagers and adults, and now we're gonna get more serious. And so it doesn't have to be Power Rangers. Oh, well, that's for kids. It doesn't have to be like that. It can be so many things. You know, Dragon Ball Z. You know, it's kind of hard to do a live action, but there's so many different stories, and you can actually look online to see what if stories from the fans. Like you can constantly crank them out, and you can make millions of dollars on something that's great. And it's kind of like, no, we have a script. It may suck, but they have a script. But you know, it's kind of like what I'm a wrestling fan. It's kind of like what CM Punk says, listen to what the fans want, because the fans come see what they want to see. So if you're not listening to the fans, you're pretty much like you're setting yourself up for failure, pretty much.
right. And there's nothing wrong with trying something new every once in a while, but sometimes they came to see your usual stuff and just do the usual stuff. Like I always enjoy stand-up comedy. Some people told me to go try it. I don't think I'm that funny personally. I mean, I have a very unusual taste of sense of humor. You know, I'm always the guy who would love to watch Jim Jeffries or even Sam Kinison knows about. But you know, that's the kind of stuff that people go there for. Now, if they go see Jeff Foxworthy, he's more family oriented. But if he does some off-color jokes, it'd be kind of really big surprise. Like, well, we're not going to go back there ever again. Sometimes it's about giving people what they want. Sometimes it's just your thing, and people enjoy it. They enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with trying something new, like I just said. You know, like a lot of actors have done some completely off the wall from what they usually do, and it's either a hit or a miss.
No, you're right. You know, I think it's funny. You know, when well, I'm having a brain fart. The guy from Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, when he hosted, I think the Grammys or the Oscars, he told like knock knock knock. Here, I will give it to you. It's like knock knock.
Who's that?
Inside.
Inside where?
There's only one man who got inside Lincoln's head. See, you know, a lot of people are laughing, a lot of woo, as I wasn't matter 200 years too soon.
Oh yeah, stuff like that's fine to me. I like that kind of stuff. They push the envelope stuff to me, makes me laugh.
I like Seth MacFarlane. I never met him, but I would like to have him on the show. But you know, Family Guy was on TV. You know, then it was taken off the air, then they put it back on. You watch the shows like Archie Bunker. He was on the air, then they kicked him off, then they put him back on the air. You can't take things too damn personally. You know, I have a disability. Hey, you want to make disability jokes? That's fine. Don't take it so goddamn personally, because if you take everything personally, you're going to make a generation of people, if you sneeze the wrong way, they're easily offended. You know, hey, someone says something stupid. Hey, I do stupid things on a daily basis. This can be a list of that. But I don't take it personally. I do something stupid. You think about it, and I forget about it, and you move on. You don't sit there and pine over it, because who wants to live like that?
I mean, I've made jokes about things too as well. I mean, there's always a time and place for certain things. Like I'm at a wake. I'm not gonna say any jokes like that. That's for damn sure. Like I am Jewish, but I make Jewish jokes. I don't care about that stuff. I had a girlfriend of mine. She was from Germany, a Bavarian woman, and she made me watch Schindler's List. And it was a hell of a movie. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It was a hell of a goddamn movie. And she's sobbing through it. And I thought of a really funny joke. I was like, no. Do I really want to tell the joke while we're watching, or do I wait until afterwards? Well, if I wait until afterwards, I'll forget. So I lean over and I say, did they really get 6 million Jews to film this movie? And she goes, that's not a funny joke. But after the movie, she started laughing. It's like, I don't care, you know. It's just a really, really great sport about, you know, it was Christmas time, and she was telling me, oh yeah, us Germans love Christmas. It's like, we know all about how much you guys like Christmas. over Hanukkah, you know, it's okay. A lot of us don't even do Hanukkah either. A lot of us don't even do the full 8 days. Like, 4 days. That's good enough. That's good enough.
No, yeah, hey, when you're a kid, Hanukkah is wonderful. When you're an adult, it sucks because my dad is like, if you buy you something, if you don't like it, you don't got to complain about it. Here's a gift card. I'd be happy for sure. I miss opening gifts. Giving someone a gift card is like, here's a gift card, don't bother me. It's kind of like, and the same thing with the 8 nights. It's like, you do 2, 3 nights, good enough.
Well, I know it's kind of been personal too sometimes with that, but sometimes it's always simplicity. I'm the gift card guy. Sometimes don't buy me something I don't like. Just buy me a universal gift card. Somebody bought me a Gap gift card years ago, and well, I'm sure as hell not one to shop at the Gap, but take me half an hour to find something to buy. Like, oh man, it's expensive in here. What do I want to buy? Yeah. And after about 4 or 5 wears, and the thing gets, being washed away, they get destroyed in the laundry. That was too bad. Sometimes I just don't know what to buy some people, and sometimes people ask, "What do you want?" You're like, "I don't want anything." You know what I want? I just want a nice day and be left the hell alone. Like my birthday comes around, like I really don't want anything. I just want to have a nice, calm, relaxing day with no bullshit. Just leave me the hell alone. If I gotta go to work, fine, I gotta go to work. I don't want any crap.
You're right. For my birthday, I was like, well, what do you want? And it's kind of how my talk show came about. But not gonna go hard on that because I've been harping on that for 8.5 years. But it's kind of like what I want, you can't buy. It's like I have my health, I have my family. If I have to die, I would like to have a couple of famous friends to hang out with. That's all I want.
Right.
And that's all I want. It's like, you want a shirt. Everyone could have a shirt. Hey, a shirt. My dad hates when I do the impression. Oh, it's cold outside. Maybe you want a sweater or maybe a jacket. It's but you can do stuff like that. It's like, how many jackets do you really need? How many shirts do you really need?
Well, you should see my closet then. I mean, I usually just buy myself something and that'd be it. That's just, I'll buy it. If you want to pay me for it, fine, even. We'll just call it even. Even that I don't even do.
Let's do something fun. You mentioned you do some impressions. What are your top 5 favorite impressions?
My top 5 favorite impressions? That I personally do, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, well, I always love doing the black guy voice because I usually use that voice when I get those marketing calls. Like, you ever get those calls from Medicare? They're not really from Medicare, though, for some Pakistan kind of thing. And I use that guy voice, and I don't usually use it out in public anymore because people are upset about it. It's like, it's just a joke, whatever. I don't care. They have to fuck your wife, goddammit. And then, they hang up right away. Or I yell at them, like, oh, this guy's going to be sorry he called me today. Or what I also try to do, too, is like I do the Jimmy Stewart. I had that as well. And the actor Jimmy Stewart. Oh, yeah, I love doing his voice. And I've been trying to do some other impressions that, maybe not too well thought of, like, Jerry Ford, or President Jerry Ford. I think, what was it, like 37th president, or who the hell cares? Or I do the white guy voice, the white guy voice, Do you have any non-dairy creamer? Or the white guy weatherman? Yeah. They got a weatherman on WGN who has that stereotypical deep weatherman voice. It sounds so unbelievably white guy weatherman. It was just, that's his real voice. It can't be his real goddamn voice. No way. Sometimes I do John Wayne. I love doing that, but it still needs some work. Sometimes it can take 2 years. I was watching Rich Little talk about he was doing Agnew, and it took him 2 years trying to perfect Agnew. I mean, I wish I could do more voice of this. Just something like trying to think of other things. Some things I probably made up as well down the line. Like guy I try and make a character I made. His name is Leonard J. Delacroix, and she's like, "What's your name, sir?" Like, you can call me Mr. Delacroix. He's one of those. You picture those people from the warden from Cool Hand Luke. Picture his voice, but with the body style and look from the Big Daddy from Cat in a Hot Tin with Paul Newman. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. It's one of those kind of people from the South. you instinctively know you don't want to get on his bad side, kind of thing. Pretty kind of religious, kind of like the old Southern charm. Real sucker for a pretty young lady. Yeah, I used to do that voice on the phone a lot too. And after all, it gets kind of old. I try to move on. I used to do the old Italian voice. I don't know how to do that anymore because I've been out of practice.
I mean, for me, I do some impressions, but I'm not really an expert. I can do Yogi Bear. I try to do Ray Romano, but even though if you watch Adventure Brothers, they say it's kind of like number 2. There's like the Jewish voice that I do. And there's just like certain, and I'm thinking, and I was thinking about this earlier, I want to do other things with my network. This August, eventually, I'm going to introduce a new segment called the KeithAndrewNetwork Presents the Anime Hall of Fame. And right now, I have 4 inductees. There will be the class of 2021. And let's see, you like Dragon Ball Z? I have Pan, I have Majin Buu, I have 17, and I have one from Team 4-Star. Team 4-Star is actually really funny. I hope they come back and do more of that. And there's like other ones too, that I'm working on. But I'm thinking, I admire these people, and I'm trying to imitate their voice. But then I'm like, it's great if I have a talk show. I'm like, hey, I'm an example for people with disabilities. If I can do it, you can do it too. But I don't want to be just known as that guy who has a disability, has a show.
Right.
So I've been thinking, why not do more impressions? Or maybe, you put me in the line of being a model or more of a brand ambassador. But, that's more my thing, but I'm still working on myself. I'm a work in progress. But with the last 5 minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there anything you wanted to know, anything you want to talk about, promote? But before you do, my last question to you is, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest, what made you say yes? And after being a guest, how do you feel now? And would you recommend it to other people? Passing it over to you.
Well, first when you asked me, I felt like, okay, well, like how, thank God for Facebook, you can see who the person kind of is. Like, oh, okay, that's great. It took like 2 seconds. Like, all right, cool. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I actually had no problem doing it. Actually, was all flattered and surprised that anybody even wanted to do that with me. It was kind of really nice. But absolutely, yeah, sure. Why not? I'd be more than happy to. I would love to do it in person, but you're out in New York, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm out in Chicago. Well, 40 minutes north of Chicago, a place called Wakanda. Not the real one, by the way, the other one. The one nobody really wants to. Yeah, I wish it was that nice. Oh, anyway, but no, I really like doing the interview, and it's already been 30 minutes already, huh?
Well, I try to keep it 26 because I work with the Manhattan neighborhood of broadcasting, and they only air episodes that are like 28 minutes. Now, first off, I don't know if anyone even watches the damn thing, but it's nice knowing that my show's being aired in Manhattan, and if people decide to watch it, they know who I am. But it's a work in progress. So my show used to be like this, to be honest. It used to be uncensored. You can watch season 1, 2, whatever. It's like uncensored presents KeithAndrewNetwork. And the episodes used to be like an hour, 45 minutes. I'm like, who the hell is going to sit there for an hour and 45 minutes? Really? Unless it's really good and entertaining, and you're just, okay, it catches you like a ball of lightning. If you catch a bug in a jar, it lights up, you will be entertained.
Yeah.
But if you have a guest that's kind of like you're ripping your hair out of your head, and they give you one-word answers, and I had plenty of those in the past. So I'm like, okay, who's going to sit there 45 minutes, knock it down to a half hour? And I'm thinking, okay, maybe you can knock it down a little bit more. I'm like, okay, well, that's where Manhattan Neighborhood Broadcasting comes from. So we only do 28 plus. So for an example, it's 26 minutes, plus then you're going to have the introduction, you have the credits, you have a commercial, and by the time it's done, it's like, okay, 28, it's a solid number. Eventually, when I don't use Manhattan Neighborhood Broadcasting anymore, I might just keep it at the 26-minute mark because, the joke is that's how long an anime cartoon is, 26 minutes. But, it depends on the guest, what you're talking about. If I really like someone, I give them then the extra 2-3 minutes. So right now, and, you're actually the first guest I'm going to do this with. If you subscribe to the Keith Andrew Network on YouTube, I can tell you right here the top 5 episodes. And these are really amazing because I have over 859 episodes, give or take.
Oh, wow.
And out of all of them, these are the only most popular ones. Let me just give you one sec. Okay, so if you go for most popular, season 2, I had the woman from Cobra Kai. Her episode got 38K. Maybe you can help me out with the K. What is the K in views?
What is the K in what?
Views. Is that like 38,000 million?
I don't know. I don't have a YouTube channel.
But her episode's like 38K. Then I had one of the Celeb VMs. So I used to be a part of that, but I'm not a big star, so no one knows who the hell I am. Now, her video got 1.2K. I do a lot of fan-made parodies of Jumbo and Jumbo Book. That one got another 1 million. And then it drops, I was on Manhattan Neighborhood Broadcasting. Then it goes to 6. Kansas Michelle episode got 650. Then it goes to 5 and 4 and 3. But it's amazing how certain episodes just like boom. And so it may not even be a best one, but it's amazing that certain people like, I like this one. Well, I was just beginning then, but it's a work in progress. But that's everything that I do, everything you do, everything our viewers do, breaking the fourth wall, that's why I'm looking straight. If you're going to do something, be 100% passionate, give nothing but very to the best, never do anything half-assed, and do what you love. Because if you don't, you got to hate it, and you got to set yourself up for failure. You mentioned you're a brand ambassador. You do voiceovers. If you're also an actor. Once you get this mindset of, you do it for fun. And that's all you have to do. Do it for fun. But wrapping up your interview segment, everyone make sure to like and subscribe to our guests. This information will be on the bottom of the screen in the description box. Make sure to follow the Keith Andrew Network on YouTube. We're available on Instagram and Facebook. And as I always say, until we meet again, I'll catch you later.